Guys, what's up? It's Darwin. Welcome back to another quick video here, the Coop cooking channel. Super excited. We're gonna do a quick little sweet potato and onion casserole, again in the Instant Pot today. One of the reasons I love the Instant Pot is because it's right there in the name. It's quick. I wish I had more free time to cook. I obviously love doing it, but sometimes you just don't. So we're gonna put together a quick little one today that is good, it's good for you, it tastes delicious, and it goes with a lot of different things. One of the other parts that I love about it is I like to make dishes that are versatile. So you can have some of it for dinner, maybe the next day you can use part of it for a lunch or a breakfast, and so it kind of carries over. So you're not constantly cooking and cleaning and cooking and cleaning, because nobody's got time for that. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. We've got our sweet potatoes here, yams, basically the same thing. Got a red onion. This thing's a monster. We'll probably only need about half of it. A couple of spices, a little bit of rosemary. We all know how I feel about that stuff. Tahini, just a scotch of cinnamon, because that's the way we're rolling today. We've got our salt, we've got our black pepper, we've got olive oil, and we got a little bit of white wine here. You can substitute water for that if you are not into the whole alcohol thing. Obviously the alcohol in the wine cooks off, it's just for flavor, so essentially just becomes some grape juice at that point. But again, sub water, no big deal at all. So, a couple things we need to do. We're gonna have to dice the onion. We gotta slice up the sweet potatoes. We've got our mandolin here. Sorry about that horrible noise. And then we're gonna stack everything in the Instant Pot in layers. A little bit of wine and some oil on top of there. Hit the button and we're done. All right? So let's go ahead and get going. First thing, nice sharp knife. Please be careful with these. We don't like blood in our food. It'll ruin the flavor. We don't want that. So we'll go ahead and dice our onion. We don't have to do it super fine. This guy's got some defects in it, so we're gonna just get what we can out of it and make it happen. So if you can see, sometimes you'll get an onion like this, especially with the organic stuff. It's starting to degrade over here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip it over. We know this is the good side. We're gonna slice right through the root, just like so. That way we can see there's only just a little bit there. So not a huge deal. Same on this side is that the defect doesn't go very far. So we're just gonna sacrifice another ½ inch or so. Now we're down to good clean onion. What a country. So we'll flip this one a little heavier, get rid of that. So now we're down below it. Awesome. Throw that away. Here's the way I like to do these. So I'm gonna get the peels out of the way, clean that mess up later. I'll flick a little bit with the knife edge there. You're just gonna wanna basically peel off this outside. It's gonna save you doing a few things. You don't have to wash anything. That's gonna get you down to a nice clean surface. And peel the onion, and we're gonna show you how to safely chop one of these things up so you don't become another casualty of the kitchen. So we'll remove all this. We only need half the onion for this recipe, so we'll just set this one off to the side. So a big thing, keep your cutting board clean. So if you got debris and stuff like this periodically, just get it over and we'll dump it in the trash. All right. So for all of you who don't know how to do this, here's how to dice an onion correctly. So as you can see, we've got these rings here, just like the rings of a tree. We're gonna hold like so. You're gonna make radial cuts. So what that means is you're going to go like this, and your knife is going to curve around just like that as you make these cuts in the onion. For a dish like this, you can keep it coarse, probably a ½ inch or so. So once you've made your radial cuts, again, we're gonna hold our knife correctly, not like this, bring it up here on the blade. Keep your fingers bent over so the knife can ride down. I'll show you a little bit better. You want the knife to ride down the front of your finger like that. Keep your fingers out of the way so they don't get cut, all right? So we're gonna just dice this up nice and coarse, make about 3 cuts here, get that, and then we'll go again here, get a little bit more out of it, make 1 more cut, and that's that. End of the onion, boom. Finger check, no blood, a little bit of onion peel, and life's good. Okay? So what we're gonna do is we'll dump this here over in the bowl, and let's start slicing up sweet potatoes. We've got our bowl here. We're gonna go ahead and season these things up. So what I like to do is we'll take some olive oil, we're gonna take some black pepper and some tahini, kind of mix everything up in the bowl with your hands, and we're gonna start stacking it in here. So before we get all greasy, take the lid off the Instant Pot, make our avocado tea later. We'll set this out just like this. So if you're that type of person that likes to measure, that's fine. I am not. So you just basically don't want to coat these things with olive oil just a little bit like that. Okay. A little bit of tahini, again, nice coating. So tasty. Black pepper, sprinkle. We're running low, so we're gonna have to save some for the venison here because that's coming up. A little bit of cinnamon. This stuff is strong, it goes a long way, so I wouldn't recommend going crazy. We call this just a scotch, so boom, we're good there. If you want, just for a little bit of extra flavor, here's the way I like to do rosemary. A little bit in the palm of your hand, get it over here, just crush it up. Maybe you remember this skill from college, I'm not sure what you were into at the time. But go ahead and grind that up over the bowl. All right, so now we're gonna take our hands, get it mixed. Make sure we got the onions in there too, all nice and coated. It already smells good. Jeez, need a bigger bowl. All right, now that we got that all mixed, wash hands. All right, keep them dry. Let's go ahead, get it in the Instant Pot. All right. All right, guys, so one of my favorite parts about this dish is that you've got a good mix of seasonings. This one, you got a little sweetness and some spice from that cinnamon. You've got a little bit of tahini. We're gonna put a scotch, more of that stuff on there, which is gonna give you a little bit of that chili flavor, like a little tang from the citrus. And then the rosemary just kind of adds and brings it all together. So we got the whole thing. We've got our chopped onions in there for some extra flavor. Put it in here. A little bit of cheap Pinot Gris. Someone was dumb enough to leave at my house. So we're gonna put a little bit of this around there, just a glug or so to produce some steam. A little more can't hurt. Then the last thing we're gonna do is a little bit of salt all over the top of everything. So we'll use the white salt, a nice like 3-4 finger pinch, sprinkle, and that's that. All right, so for a couple of pounds of potatoes, I really don't like to go crazy. I don't want mashed potatoes coming out of this thing. We want like a nice cooking. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and do pressure cook. And I think for a couple of pounds, you wanna be somewhere between like the 15 to 18 minute mark. We're gonna try 17 minutes on high pressure here and just see how it goes. So if we gotta do a little more, that's great, but you can't uncook stuff, trust me. So anyway, while we got that going, we're gonna tidy this up and then I'll show you guys for the venison. We'll go ahead and get that prepped. Man, it's gonna be tasty.